Hey everybody, this is Andy from Laughing in Purgatory, and I had a situation with my son about a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about how I resolved it, at least how I handled it. I don't know if it's been completely resolved. It's just like with a lot of things in parenting, you never fully resolve stuff, you just kind of manage it until you send the kids off to college and hope for the best. So my son, as most of you already know, has a low-grade form of attention deficit disorder. Not the hyperactivity type, but the kind of staring off into space type and going off into his own dreamland. Now, because of this, he has what's called executive function issues, problems. In other words, he has trouble organizing his space, organizing his time. And because he's in the 6th grade and now has a locker to his own, there have been issues, there have been problems about his locker management skills. Just before parent-teachers, he had an avalanche of his locker stuff pouring out all over him and onto the corridor in front of all of his friends and the other students and the teachers. And I heard about it when I was at parent-teacher conferences. Now, the guidance counselor was really struggling to help him, and she tried to put on a shelf for Will, an extra shelf, which of course collapsed because the problem wasn't the fact that he had enough space. The question was that he wasn't using the space properly. So what we did was that we came up with a checklist for Will to use daily to organize the space. Things like making sure that trash was taken out of his locker, making sure that his coat was hung up properly, making sure there weren't any extra papers kicking around or placed in, they had to be placed in the right kind of containers, in the right folders and everything. So, one evening, we were having dinner. Allie, my daughter, who's 8, and Will, who's 11, and we were talking about locker organization. And I said, look, Will, I hope you're having your locker organized because I'm going to go down there and check it one day after school. And then he said, you're bluffing. To me, he said, you're bluffing. You're not going to go down to school and check my locker. And I said, okay. You're now at the top of my to-do list for this week. Now, we had snowstorms earlier in the week, so it was Thursday afternoon, and I greeted him at the door with my fuzzy pajama bottoms on. I hadn't shaved for a couple of days, so like 3 days scruffs. And at that point, I looked like some kind of homeless addict, with because my beard doesn't come in well. It comes in splotchy, so I got this kind of like splotchy grayish thing here on my face, and I got the pajama bottoms on. I have this crappy hoodie on, which has some stains on it, and I have coffee, but not in a travel mug. I have it in like a mug like this. I don't know if you can see it really well. And I said, well, you know what we're doing today? We're going to go down and check out how your locker is. I had Allie all prepared. She had her jacket ready because it's winter here. And we had to go. Will was horrified with the idea that there would be this nap, but he had forgotten. He had forgotten that he had basically said I was bluffing. So we walked down to the middle school where Will goes. It's within walking distance, and Will has his head down, and occasionally he's mumbling, I can't believe we're walking to school with you looking like this. Now, to tell you the truth, I would have worn my slippers if I could, but it was cold out and there was snow on the ground, and so I had to wear my boots. We made it to a school within a few moments, and we walked by the office. The assistant principal's there. Will kind of waves, and he goes, my dad usually doesn't look like this. And we walked past. I waved hello. We walk by the guidance counselor's office. He sees his guidance counselor. I wave. Will apologizes again. My dad usually doesn't look like this. We get to his locker. He opens it up very easily. He's very good about. When I was in sixth grade, I could barely open my locker. I had a lot of trouble with the combinations. No surprise. But he was able to pop it open very easily, and it didn't look that bad. It was no trash, and there was a minimal amount of things in the locker. I mean, everything was there that was supposed to be there. There was no avalanche. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. There was no avalanche. I said, "Wow, that's great, Will. You did a good job organizing this." So we closed the locker, and we were walking out of the school. And as we were walking out through the doors, I said, "Hey, what did we really learn today from this excursion to your school?" And he said, "You're not bluffing? You don't bluff?" It's like, "That's right. I don't bluff." This is Andy from Laughing in Purgatory.